Hi everybody, and welcome to the Stamperia Coffee and Chocolate mini album tutorial that was designed for Scrap and Create. So this is the finished, completed mini album. It is 4 pages. It's 10 1/4 by 7 3/4, and it has a 2.5-inch spine. There are plenty of fun elements in here with lots of the metal pieces that come with the collection when you purchase the papers from Scrap and Create. Stay tuned in the rest of the video where I will walk through all of the supplies that you will need to create this album. However, they will also be linked in the description box below. So if you want to just go ahead and click on those links to purchase those products and follow along, you can do that. Anything that was not provided by Scrap and Create will also be listed in the description box without links. So you have your links to the supplies from Scrap and Create and then a list for all of the other craft supplies. As always, we will be starting with all of the products that are available on the Scrap and Create website. So from the Stamperia Coffee and Chocolate collection, I have the 12 by 12 double-faced sheets, and I have the 12 by 12 background papers. Then I also have the same thing in the 8 by 8, so I have the backgrounds and the double-faced sheets. And then I also have the Collectables Papers. Then I also have the die cuts for the coffee and chocolate collection. And if you purchase all of your papers like this from Scrap and Create while supplies last, they will give you these cute little charms that will match the collection. So I have these to use as well. And then also from Scrap and Create, I have my basic gray magnets to hold some of the flaps and pages closed. All of these products will be linked in the description box below, so you can go ahead and click on those links to purchase these products and follow along with the tutorial. For my base pages, I will be using Kraft cardstock. I have mine here. I have a 50 pack. These are 8.5 by 11 sheets, 65 pound, and I just use the Recollections brand from Michaels, but you can use whatever brand you prefer. And if you don't want to use the Kraft, you can use a different color. For this project, I plan to ink all of my pages, including my base of my pages. So I'm going to be using Walnut Stain. I don't usually use a lot of darker colors. I usually use Vintage Photo or some colored inks, but I want this to be really dark to look like coffee. So I've got my Walnut Stain and I've got my dauber ready to go. I've got some hemp cord. I'm going to be using this white color. If it feels too bright, I might actually tone it down a little bit with my Walnut Stain ink. I will also be using my We Are Memory Keepers scallop punch for some of the corners on my pages. You can use any type of corner rounder or you can completely skip this step. For basic craft supplies, you will need a scoring board and a scoring tool. If your scoring board doesn't have a paper trimmer, then you will also need to grab your paper trimmer. We need to get a ruler. I have 2 pairs of scissors. I got my fussy cutting scissors and my regular scissors. I like to keep my craft knife on hand just in case I prefer to use that. Then I have my bone folder, pencil, and a piercing tool, which reminds me, I will also grab some brads just in case I want to make any swing tabs. For adhesive, I have my tacky glue, which I usually use for everything. I've got this scrapbook.com glue. It has a really fine point. It's not on it right now, but I have been trying that out just to see what I think. And then I have Fabri-Tac in case I need to use that for my hemp or my twine. Some additional supplies that you will need: 3 sheets of heavyweight chipboard. I'm using 8.5 by 11 sheets. I'm also going to be using my envelope punch board to make some little openings in my pockets. If you don't have a punch board, you can also use a circle punch, or you can completely skip this step and it will be perfectly fine. I'm going to be using some burlap trim. This is from Joann's. It's 2.5 inches. It's really old. It actually has wire in it that I will remove once I go to use some of the pieces of it. But you can find this, or if you don't want to use this, you can use another type of ribbon, or you can completely leave this off if you don't want this on your album. So that is it for all of the supplies that you will need to create your own album. Obviously, you can change things out if there are things that you want to use differently. You can add things to it if there are things that you want to add that I didn't use. This tutorial series is broken up into different parts where we will start to construct the album base itself, then we'll construct the pages individually, then I start to go back through and decorate each page one by one. At the end, I went through and I decorated and added all of the embellishments and came back and added some extra things to the cover. So that is how I designed the tutorial, but you can obviously build page 1 and then decorate page 1, build page 2, decorate page 2 if that's how you would prefer. So feel free to go through the tutorial series however is most comfortable for you. I hope you enjoy the tutorial.